Mr. Laufer, please come up to the podium. Rabbi Stein. There's a very special digital frame that the administration of Dror put together where hundreds of well-wishers, friends, family of Jacob Laufer put and expressed their feelings for this very special human being, Mr. Jacob Laufer.
Good evening. It is a privilege for me to be here tonight in front of such a distinguished group of people, dignitaries, community leaders, public officials, friends, relatives, and members of our community. We, as a community, are at a fork in the road. Charles Dickens began his masterwork, A Tale of Two Cities, with the following famous observation. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times, it was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness, it was the season of light, it was the season of darkness, it was the spring of hope, and it was the winter of despair. We had everything before us, and we had nothing before us. So it is today, here in the United States, 150 years later. And the choice between light and darkness is our choice. These are wonderful times for the Jewish community. We're bestowed with great, great blessings here in the United States. Yiddishkeit is growing. Yeshivas are opening, they're expanding. Shuls and shtiblach are thriving. There's an old joke that has a slight relevance here about a fellow who was stranded on a desert island and is later discovered, and he points that he's built 2 shuls. And he proudly says, this is the shul that I go to, and the other shul, I would never set foot in that shul. The relevance, in New York City alone, there are said to be over 1,000 shuls. There are literally hundreds of shuls that a person can decide not to set foot into, and yet set foot in hundreds of other shuls. Shuls with minyanim around the clock, daf yomi shiurim, in person, by phone. These are wonderful times for our community. But these are hard times as well. In the forward thrust of Yiddishkeit, it is unfortunately the case that some of us are left behind. Some of our youth have strayed from the derech, and some of our adults as well. When I began practicing criminal law as a federal prosecutor nearly 40 years ago, it was a rarity to find an Orthodox Jew accused of serious wrongdoing, accused of crime. Today, however, press accounts of such accusations are common. In the old days, within the lifetime of many of us here, members of our community were accorded the presumption of innocence plus. Not only were members of our community presumed innocent, as all citizens are, but the rare accusations of wrongdoing among Orthodox, against Orthodox, were viewed with skepticism. They were viewed with disbelief. It must be a mistake. Not so anymore. It's hard to pick up a newspaper nowadays without seeing a picture of someone, a frum person, wearing the uniform of our community, being arrested with a snarky caption of one kind or another. Today, even gemachs, free loan societies, which are a vital component of Jewish life, have been tainted. These embodiments of tzedakah, a lifeline for the impoverished, instruments of chesed, are not always the pristine vessels of our community's commitment to care for all of us. It's hard to know why. It's hard to know whether these circumstances are the product of a breakdown in values, in increasing numbers in our midst, or perhaps more effective law enforcement, or the tabloids' marketing. But it is undeniable that even in the golden age of our life here in America, the problem exists. What are we to do? What is our obligation as Orthodox Jews, as citizens, to our brothers who have strayed, and what is our obligation to their family members? It is the temptation to look aside haughtily and pretend that these people are not our brothers and sisters, our sons and our daughters, but they are our brothers and sisters. They are our sons and daughters. In various formulations, it's often been said that society is judged by how it treats and deals with its weakest members. In my own experience, and I'm sure yours, members of our community are extraordinarily generous in the tzedakah, in the charity that they give, and in the acts of gemilas chesed that they extend. But some of our people have been left behind, are being left behind. We cannot, and we do not, justify wrongdoing. But when a person has strayed and offended the law, the result is that he is often incarcerated, removed from society, a dehumanizing experience. Recently, Recently, an inmate, not a member of our community, has been quoted as saying, "Going to prison is like dying with your eyes open. You watch the world pass before your very eyes, and no matter how good, bad, tragic, or horrific, all you can do is watch from afar. Such a person is often broken, depressed, dejected, but he remains a human being with human needs. He remains our brother. He needs to know that he is not abandoned by our community, lost forever. He needs hope, physic,